Hello and welcome to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
I'm Corey Baumeister.
And we got Rob in the booth. Say hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
He'll be taking your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat all afternoon. Make sure you tag at SCG Tour so we can see him and send his favorites over to us. As always, we are brought to you by Star City Games and Carnox Chairs. If you want 10% off one of these, go to carnox.com/SCG. And if you want 50% off a Tier 1 subscription, better do it now because it's September.
And if you like Subway. I know
true.
I do.
We don't get free chairs, and we don't get free subs. What is going on? Just send us some free subs. Okay, the chairs, they're kind of expensive. They're kind of nice. You know, it's complicated to ship them.
Yeah.
You know, at least send us some subs. They're small. You can fit them in a box. I'll assemble my own one. Just send me the ingredients to a sub.
I don't know, man. I've been getting free subs this month. I go on Twitch all the time. I subscribe to my favorite streamers. And you know what? I've subscribed to 4 so far. That's 2 free subs.
Just give me like I want a sub I can eat.
Okay.
Get me just like a full-on veggie delight on some. Do they still do the hearty Italian with cornmeal? That was the bread.
The Italian urban cheese is the one that I use.
Yeah, that's the one everybody likes. I like the one with cornmeal. I like a little texture.
Okay. I'm gonna start sending you sub ingredients, just like
just
random packages of like turkey in the mail, like,
little packets of mustard.
Yeah. You asked for it. You're getting something free.
I'll take it.
Yeah, not bad. All right, what do we got for round 2?
We are playing some Legacy here to get ready for the Open this weekend in Syracuse.
Yep.
And
which you'll be attending, right?
Yes, I will be there. For match 2, I am going to be playing 4-color control, one of the more popular decks in the format, and you are going to be playing what is my pick for the best deck in the format. That is Golgari Depths.
Sure.
This is the winning list from the most recent Legacy Classic. This is Bob Huang, noted Legacy expert.
A master.
Yes, so deck list is going to be tight. You know, it does a lot of tricky things with crop rotation. I think Elvish Reclaimer is a really great addition to the deck.
Yep.
It gives you that, creature that can be both the small ball aggro plane if they target your combo too hard, but also functions to 2 different combo pieces. Can function to find Sejiri Step to protect your Merit Lage. Can do all sorts of things. So definitely a great addition there, and just elevated the deck even more. It was already, one of the better decks in the format before that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crop rotation on Ice-Chron Scepter, right? For 1 mana. That's pretty good.
So I'm going to be, playing a weird collection of card advantage and removal spells. We got Main Nick Liliana's Triumph, which is nice. Hopefully get to cast that a time or two. Got some removal for Reclaimer, and hopefully just sort of, sitting here, stop the combo, grind through you, and eventually win a long game. But
and my plan, speaking of 50% off subs that we've been getting, I'm going to be trying to play at least at 50% skill level of Wong, who actually won the classics, and see if that is good enough to beat you.
50%.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, the games might be involved because the control deck takes a while to win.
Yep.
So let's just get into game 1, and we'll take some questions a little bit later.
Don't forget to tag at SCG Tour if you want some of these questions answered. And you lost, so you're on the play.
Indeed, I am.
All right.
One real quick question.
Yeah, sure.
Todd wants to know,
Todd,
Corey, do you miss him? And for Ross, do you also miss him?
Those are the hard-hitting questions that we really need. Todd, we miss you.
I saw Todd fairly recently in Dallas, so that I wish I could see him this week in Syracuse, but he's not casting that show, unfortunately.
Yeah, we did. We were gonna, go to Gus's Fried Chicken in Dallas. That was unfortunate. We didn't get to do that. But
so Corey's probably missing him a little bit more than I am, but it's close.
All right, not bad. So that means I must be a better friend to him than you.
No, it just means I've seen him more recently than you.
Yeah, semantics. Okay.
Start on a fetch lane.
Okay.
So I need to get a blue land. I don't need to get Underground Sea. The question is whether or not I want to get Volcanic Island or Tropical Island. And there's not a ton of difference, but I think Abrupt Decay, if I happen to find one early, will be more important because I can cast it maybe next turn.
Makes sense.
Whereas Cake Man, a little bit later down the road.
Sure.
By at least a turn.
Sure. And one thing, looking at my hand here, we do have some things that make this a little bit of an awkward keep, but I think it is just good enough on the draw to keep because against this control deck where there's a lot of hand disruption, that's fine. Because you do have a few Thoughtseizes at least, right?
I don't think in the main.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha. Maybe not even hand disruption then, but
we're mainly blue.
If you're trying to deal with my threats on a 1-for-1 basis, I don't want to be too low on resources here. I am a combo deck, so I want to try to get under it, but I think this hand is still good enough. All right, that was a pretty good draw.
Definitely liked that Ponder for me. Gives me the third land I needed and a good threat that I can leave on top. Hide that from a discard spell.
Makes sense to me. I'm going to just play Rejuvenator or Reclaimer here. Just get that down, hope it lives. Probably unlikely, and then pass it back to you.
So I could kill the Reclaimer right now, but I don't think that's necessary. I think it's a little bit more efficient for me to just go to 18 life, get a Tropical Island, and play Wrenn.
Wrenn, okay.
It's not going to die. Reclaimer's only a 1/2. We'll rebuy the Polluted Delta after getting Volcanic Island.
Makes sense to me.
Actually, maybe I'm supposed to get Badlands. I want more black mana, I think.
Probably, yep.
Yeah, let's get the Badlands.
That's some bad land you got over there.
You can go.
Okay, so we're going to untap. Now I see a specific plan here that I think I want to try to execute. If it'll be good, who knows? But we are going to try. So I'm going to start by just attacking Wrenn.
Goes to 3.
Got him. And now we are going to lead on a duress. See what you're cooking with. Okay, good cards.
Pretty solid hand here.
Pretty good hand. Okay, well, with having a creature in play, Liliana's Triumph does get worse. So maybe I'm not as concerned with that. It's still just a great card.
Yeah. It's also that or a Ponder. Like you can't take either creature.
Yeah. That's a good point. Strix is always just going to be good against the combo part of this. And now it is the question, am I more afraid of a specific answer to what I'm doing with Ponder here? Or can I beat Baleful Strix and Liliana's Triumph, which I think I can, but you still have the option to Snapcaster Ponder. I guess I do have a way around that. So we are going to actually take this. We have a specific avenue. I'm going to Bojuka Bog you.
That's interesting.
Yeah, not bad.
Thought with the Bog you would definitely take the Triumph and just lock me out of it.
Yeah, no, maybe. I guess you can play and flat. Yeah, I have to do that. No, you're 100% right. Yeah. Lock you off that with Snapcaster being in your hand, and then pass to you.
That's actually pretty punishing. Like I thought with the Snapcaster, I was insulated against a discard spell for my Triumph, but discard spell plus specifically the Bojuka Bog.
Yep. Just drawing the kind of silver bullet here.
I do still have... Ooh, that was a good one.
Uh-oh.
Let's...
Start with the Ponder we know.
Yeah, I think I want to Ponder before fetching.
Okay.
I definitely want to fetch this turn because of Wrenn and 6. And I'd rather just not get stuck drawing a poopy card next turn.
A poopy card, huh?
Yeah, I definitely don't want any poopy cards. No poopy cards here. Maybe I wasn't supposed to Ponder this turn, actually. Maybe I was supposed to do these two.
Legacy's hard.
Legacy is hard. Do I want any of these?
This is why I was just casting Urza, Lord High Artificer last weekend and killing people on turn 3. It was much easier. We ran one round short of killing people enough on turn 3 to make the top 4, but still a fun event.
Yeah, I think these are all reasonable because they just insulate me from the combo. So I think I'm going to take this one.
Okay.
And then play Polluted Delta, crack it.
Go to 17?
Yeah, rebuy it.
Sure.
Fatal push this thing.
Okay.
We're going to definitely get more blue mana.
And what do I know of your hand now? Snapcaster. Maybe that's it?
So I'm at 17.
Yep.
We rebought this, so you know Baleful Strix too, and you actually know the Swamp as well. So you know these 4.
Okay.
I'll leave these up. Sure, you can go.
Thank you. Well, we got a plan. We got a plan and we're executing it.
Okay.
I'm hoping all that works.
Yep.
Okay. Now, Baleful Strix is still obnoxious, so we can't really do much about that.
Crack Delta, go to 16. We need another black source here, so might as well get the Bayou. That way a Wasteland doesn't cut us off of any color.
Sure. I guess we are punished on this line by going for this if you have Jace, but... you have more Wastelands in your deck usually than Jace's, so I think it is better to play it this way. It's not slamming 4 mana, so that's nice.
I guess we'll leave up all our colors. Let's play Baleful Strix.
Okay.
Draw a card. Let's play another Baleful Strix. Draw a card.
Okay.
That'll insulate us from an Abrupt Decay.
We drew the Silver Bullet land.
Yeah.
Guns a-blazing.
I guess
That was pretty lucky.
I got very punished for... Well, I didn't really get punished for not killing the Reclaimer with the Triumph, because then it's in the graveyard for the Bog anyway.
Yep.
I could have taken a Force Will off that Ponder, but I just didn't think the Force Will was going to be very good. You have a bunch of discard. You were like pretty far away. You didn't have any either combo piece in play.
Yep.
And so I thought it was pretty likely that Forces gets discarded if it's going to be good at all. And
Sure.
I'd rather instead like took another Baleful Strix, generate some card advantage. Like if you do combo me, I can block a bunch. But then you had the step.
Yeah,
And I
I mean,
just
if
died.
these were double time walks, it seems great. But yeah, like, so I could have, had a crop rotation as well, but you may have had an answer for
Yeah.
that. But yeah, Sajiri Step getting through Baleful Strixes seems like a very important thing in this matchup.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. I just did not think that the game was going to be ending that quickly.
Yeah.
So I was just setting up to generate some card advantage and hopefully, like, eventually just find a Jace or a Wasteland and win that way. And no, I died much faster than I expected.
Yeah, I think I still was kind of forced to do it into Jace. Like if you had it, it's just you had it. But I think with Wasteland being able to hit Dark Depths in response to me trying to remove the counters, it just seems so much worse.
Wasteland is also just like if you slow play, the Wasteland ends up just sort of like doing a lot of work with Ren and 6. Like you have to hold up the combo at every single turn.
Yeah. With Ren and 6, if you had Wasteland early, I'm just toast.
Yeah.
Okay, I think while we're shuffling, we got time for one question. Have you got one, Rob?
We got one here from the Drizzy Druzzler. What do you
Sweet.
think of Questing Beast and its power and standard?
I mean, we touched on it a little bit.
Remind me of every single word on this. It's a 2GG 4/4.
Correct.
With like
Vigilance,
Death
haste,
Touch, yeah.
can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Combat damage that we dealt by creatures you control can't be prevented. And whenever Questing Beast, deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to target planeswalker that player controls.
Yeah, that card does not like Planeswalkers. I mean, honestly, I think the biggest things for me is haste and can't be blocked by creatures power 2 or less. I think that's going to be probably the most important thing. Just can't be chumped. Sure, it's going to deal with some Planeswalkers, but, you are still going to see problems with, Teferi bouncing it. But then you still get to play it again in attack, and then you get to always aim for face. It makes combat a lot easier from green because you just always go face because if they connect, then they hit the planeswalkers, So, or is it just itself, or is it all creatures?
just
they deal
itself
down.
gets to deal
Okay.
double.
Well, that creature always goes at face. So actually, combat's going to be pretty complicated when there's planeswalkers in play because you're like, I don't want to attack with too many of my other creatures because then they just say, okay, I'll take everything, and the planeswalker is obviously toast. So
Yeah.
but it's going to be a good card.
Yeah, it's like I just sort of feel bad for shifting Ceratops.
Yeah.
Is that this card is just sitting right on top of it and seems significantly better. The dinosaur synergies aren't going to be important. There's not a lot of counterspell still. Teferi's still around, suppressing your ability to just play like 3 mana counterspells. So
Blue-green flash could still be a thing, so it still could be a sideboard card.
Yeah.
But I mean, we have seen cards like Nullhide Feryx just be okay. And it's like 4 mana gigantic green monsters. And this could be the same case. I mean, if there's great removal, it's still just a 4 mana huge creature that doesn't gain you any card advantage when it comes into play. So I'm skeptical, but it has too many keywords to be bad,
Haste is such an important thing against people playing removal spells. You can usually find a window to land it, and if you do, it has so much immediate impact.
Yeah. Vigilance is good too. Death Touch, I think, is pretty irrelevant in Standard, just because, sure, you might get something like the Loch Ness Monster come into block where it's actually relevant. But otherwise, it's I don't know. Being double blocked by like 2 3/3s sure could happen, but we don't really know what kind of deck.
Oko can make 3/3s, so like maybe that happens. Sure. But yeah, I agree. That's the least relevant keyword. I think haste, vigilance, and doubling damage to planeswalkers, and not being able to be blocked. The preventing combat damage, not
I think
a big
will be
deal.
irrelevant. I think that's a relevant text. Like what prevents these days, you know?
Yeah, there's not a lot of fogging going on, especially with Nexus of Fate going away.
Yeah. So I'll be interested with that. I think it still needs some help because right now green just, I think pretty safely is the worst color in Standard.
Losing Elvish Mystic or Landwehr Elves is such a big deal.
It is.
It's just far and away the best green card in the format, and like nothing can replace it.
Exactly.
You know, the Goose looks good, but that goes in very specific decks. You can't just play it in your green decks.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't slot in as effectively.
Oh, damage can be prevented gets around protection.
Sure. How many? They don't print a lot of protection
we
creatures.
just have the one cycle, but that is something to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. We need more data for that card, but you best believe when we're going to be testing out new Standard, that card's going to be in there.
It's
somewhere.
hard for cards with that amount of text to not be good.
Yeah. You almost
so many words.
You think something like that is forced, but you know, I mean, this is just going to be a good card, but it looks better on paper than green mythic big monsters play out. Well, is what historically has happened. This could be a different scenario, of course, but all right. So you are on the play now.
Yeah, and I have a solid hand here.
Yeah, we take a look at my hand. Yeah, I think it's pretty sweet. I'll take it.
I'm gonna start cracking this for the snow-covered island.
I was doing that a lot this last weekend at GP Indy.
Astrolabe here. Got to figure out where I'm going, you know?
Yep.
Sometimes you need a little help. So I'm at 19. We'll draw a card, and then the turn's going to be over to you.
All right. So we're going to draw.
No Mox Opals in my deck, so.
Yep, that's fair. All right. So we'll have you draw a card, and I think we're going to start on Urborg and Duress. See what you got.
Yep. I think
lots of stuff.
Pretty clear.
Yeah, I mean, it just Ren and 6 seems like the clear play. Just gets you so much card advantage.
But I don't have a red land.
Oh. Yeah, we're going to take that.
Well, I cast it.
Now, you can do a lot of manipulating, get to Jace here, but I think that's something I have to be okay with.
Yeah. Right now, I don't have a way to disrupt you at instant speed, so the Jace isn't, a huge deal by itself.
Yeah, we'll go like that, and we'll pass it to you.
Okay. Ooh, that's not a bad one. So, I was going to talk about the decision between Ponder and Brainstorm there, probably pondering because I don't have a fetch, but instead I drew Baleful Strix, which uses my mana efficiently and still digs through my deck, so we'll cast that one.
It's pretty strong. All right, now I'm going to go with the classic play of Dark Depths, Hexmage, make a 20/20.
It's pretty good.
All right, I'll pass it to you. That is just my favorite line right there. These 4 Magic cards are life.
Okay, so we do have the Baleful Strix to block unless Corey has Crop Rotation or the Natural Sajiri step again, and that will hopefully get us to Jace. So I need to find a Force of Will or potentially a discard spell. I think the best way to do that is going to be starting with this Brainstorm.
Yep, that resolves. And if we take a peek at our hand while he's doing his stuff, we got some interesting decisions.
Definitely sending this one back, and I think probably sending this one too. No, we're not going to have time to cast a second. Oh no, we can cast another Ponder this turn. So yeah, let's send this one back.
Okay.
We know those cards we don't want, so let's crack this fetch to 18.
Okay.
I have... So I'm going to get Volcanic Island.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
What do we got?
So hope these ponders do some work. Let's ponder.
Okay.
So that one seems good. We'll keep that one.
Okay.
And do I want either of these? I don't think I do. There's nothing we can draw that beats the natural Sajiri stuff at this point. But maybe I want to leave these on top. I guess I could ponder, hit second force will to beat discard spell crop rotation.
Man, your side is way harder than mine. You're doing 9 things this turn.
But that's, yeah, whatever. We'll just do it. I'll cast another ponder.
Okay. That
Shuffle
resolves.
these. Shuffle these.
Oh, you already knew him, so yeah. Okay.
I guess I should have looked at the third one down.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I wanted to save some time because I'm pretty sure you just have the nuts. So
What? I've only been petting a card for the last 5 minutes here.
it's just the natural Sajiri step again.
No, not that good. I'm just hoping you don't have force.
Pass.
All right. I will crack.
You're 19.
Bye you.
Yep. I was thinking about Abrupt Decay, and I had I found second Baleful Strix, so I could have played around Abrupt Decay there. But you have 4 crop rotations, 4 Abrupt Decays, so which 2 am I going to play around?
Yeah, well, and the thing is, if you do that, I just double thought seize you, and I take Jace. And I just 1 for 1. If you play the second one, I go this turn.
Then
I go
just sit there and
double
have to dig
thought
for Jace.
seize. Yeah, or I could wasteland this and thought seize to keep you off Jace. I had the goods.
Yeah.
I had the audience looking at my hand, and I was just petting an Abrupt Decay for like 5 minutes while you're pondering, brainstorming.
So,
well, it was an impressive. I mean, I had the blade there. That hand was just the blade. My first 4 cards I drew were Dark Depths, Urborg, Duress, Hexmage. I was like, well, doesn't matter what these other 3 are, but yeah, that's pretty strong.
yeah, that is one of the strengths of the deck. Just turn 2 comboing with a discard spell.
Yep.
And a deck that can be resilient and win through some disruption while also killing you on turn 3.
Yeah.
And that combination is really strong.
And I think the nice thing about this matchup, which is insanely powerful, is you don't have access to Path or Swords or anything like that. Any removal that can deal with Merit Liege when it's in play.
I have Liliana's Triumph.
Well, Liliana's Triumph, sure. But even that's conditional, right? Because if I go Rejuvenator or something, or I don't know, is there a Conley Garden in this deck? That would be kind of cool.
Dried Arbor in your sideboard.
Okay, cool. But, so I'm not afraid really of anything except when you get to 4 mana for Jace. Then it's I really have to play the game in a different way, or hope you don't have Wasteland, something like that. So then it gets more interesting.
Yeah.
But if I can just be on the play and go either turn 2 or turn 3 Merit Liege, you have very little things you can do if it happens.
Definitely a lot trickier.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, we are going to get to some sideboarding. We'll be back in just a minute, and hopefully I can win a game.
Oh, yeah.
That hasn't happened yet.
I've had some good draws.
Okay, back in just a minute. And welcome back to Versus Live, where we are sideboarding with 4C control against Golgari Depths. On my side, we've got some good disruption for the matchup. The crop rotation can find wastelands that are in our main. We have 1 Caracas to also find that can answer a Merit Liege because it is legendary.
Legendary, okay.
Yeah, and you can't Sajiri step for colorless, right?
I believe we're not.
I do not believe that is an option. So that's a nice one. Assassin's Trophy is a good removal spell since it can target dark depths, but also deals with pesky permanents like Pithing Needle, Sylvan Library, Elvish Reclaimer, Dark Confidant, anything like that. So definitely a good removal spell that's going to be replacing one of our Fatal Pushes. I think Fatal Push is reasonable in this matchup because you do want to deal with Reclaimer and Dark Confidant early, even though it doesn't do much against the combo itself. Plague Engineer is pretty bad. You can name Vampire and stop Hexmage. You can, but they can still combo through that. You can, kill a Dark Confidant sometimes with it, but it's really mana inefficient. And so I don't want these in my deck. And I'm cutting a couple Force of Wills. They're not great against decks that are heavy on discard spells.
Yep.
So and we have plenty of removal, I think. And I like Surgical in this matchup just because it's pretty easy to stop them once. And once you stop them once, Surgical Extraction will take, half of the combo, and they have to win with their fair game plan. And this deck is very well set up to just dominate
win
that
fair
kind of
decks.
game.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's really interesting, the dynamic, even just listening to you talk about why you're bringing these in and stuff. It's especially when you said Fatal Push that you're bringing in to kind of beat the fair side of my deck, that's why this deck seems really appealing to me, because not only, I want to compare it to like Wurza in Modern, because it has those nut draws where you're just comboing off and you're just doing insanely powerful things in the format. You know, like we saw one of the games, Urborg, Hand Disruption, Dark Depths, Hex Mage. It can do that, but it can also pivot to be this like more Hand Disruption game plan and then kind of backdoor into the combo and stuff. And I think that's what just makes an inherently powerful strategy when they can pivot like that. So I really like this deck, and it makes sense why you think that it is the best deck, and it's probably something I would want to play as well, because it really seems like it has those same kind of skill sets as Grixis or Wurza, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to say that, but let's get back to what I'm going to do here. I'm taking out Bajuka Bog. Even though it was like insanely good in our one game, I think I got lucky to make it even have that relevant of text. Then taking out 4 Abrupt Decays, even though, once again, it won us this last game. So maybe this is kind of wrong, but just being able to hit a Baleful Strix to accelerate the clock seems worse than just trying to attack through it and manipulate your hand so you don't have an actual answer for it. And then Sylvan Scrying just seems like the weakest card in the deck to me, and I wanted to make room for some of these cards here. I like Arbiter just in case for any Edict effects from you. So if you just go to do that, I just put this into play, sacrifice that. Pithing Needle seems like an all-star to me. Shutting down Ren, Wasteland, getting that combo broken up. Basically, just all of your land. I think it's going to be aimed on either Karakas or Wasteland, whatever, you know, is giving me the most problem at the time. Him to Turok to just kind of stop your game plan. Especially being on the draw, you're already going to have a little bit less of a card count. So being able to maybe screw up one of your draws seems pretty good. And then Liliana just as a tough card for you to deal with. Getting back Reclaimers, getting back Hex Mages, like if I go through the combo and you're able to deal with it. Seems good for that. And this deck, like you were saying to me on the break, doesn't have a lot of great ways to produce card advantage. And I think Liliana is like one of the few ways that I actually can get some consistent advantage on you.
Yeah,
so
you know, you're cutting your decays. It's also a way for you to just tag my Baleful Strixes and Snapcaster Mages, so you don't have to worry about those.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. This Killing Strict seems just like a strict upgrade to this on just +1 surface value, you know? Yeah. I mean, it can be countered. Like, it wouldn't have won me that last game because you did have the Force. The Force was with you, as they would say.
In a sense, it wasn't, but in another sense, it was.
All right, so we're going to be shuffling up here for game 2. Ross is kind of getting farmed so far, but do we got any questions?
So well.
Do we got any questions while we're getting this ready?
Cabs Khan was asking a question about standard.
All right.
Do you feel that 3-color decks are going to be very viable post-rotation, given that we're losing so many lands from Rivals and Dominaria?
Well, we haven't seen the lands from Throne of...
We are not getting rare dual land cycle.
Are we getting any?
We are getting, I believe, based on the Brawl decks, we should be getting the tap gain lands from the cons.
Okay.
I believe.
So we have an enemy colored cycle of temples, and we have a full set of shock lands, and that's it.
I believe so.
And Evolving Wilds, right? Yeah. Evolving Wilds has got to be just in every set.
Yeah, and then there were some tap lands in M19 as well.
You mean like the Highland Lake kind of? You mean like the Highland Lake cycle? Yeah. Those things? Yeah,
so
those don't count.
It seems like they're going to be a lot slower, and I think viable 3-color decks might just have to revolve around Paradise Druid. Like, I think green-based 3-color decks...
And Gilded Goose.
Yeah. No, I think those are going to be the avenues for good 3-colors decks, but otherwise we might see just like where any 3-color deck has to play a turn behind with all these tap lands. Yeah, that'll be interesting for a while.
I mean, it just means like basically can't play a 2-color like friendly pair, right? You can't play that with 1 cycle of dual lands.
Yeah,
without any other fixing. Like if you have green, like sure.
I feel like they always give us enough fixing. Like maybe there still could be other lands in Throne, right?
Yeah, there's a cycle of the monocolored. Nick also reminded me that there is a cycle. Should be some cycle of the tribal lands, like we saw in Mardu, one that taps for one
Red, yeah,
color, but it has to be for a night spell.
or an equipment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically we're probably going to see some tribal forced or tribal based tricolor decks.
But we don't have unclaimed territory anymore. That one's going away.
Yeah.
So maybe like you can be red black, you can be Rakdos if you're knights.
Yeah.
But this is going to make Dimir and Azorius suffer. So Teferi might not be as dominant just because the decks that play it have a really hard time casting it.
Yeah.
Unless they're Bant, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll build a Bant deck like we saw week 1 of War of the Spark Standard. That's Teferi and Vivian, but that deck really wanted Llanowar Elves because it casts those 3-mana Planeswalkers on turn 2. So
the goose is just going to have to be loose, I guess, right?
I'm a firm believer that the mana is a driver of everything in Magic. I think mana is fundamental to the game, and everything anytime you evaluate a card and in the context of a format, the mana in that format is what you need to look at first. So the mana in this format is going to be bad, and we're going to have to adjust to that. So maybe we get a Bant deck with like Goose and Paradise Druid, and then Oko and Vivian and Teferi, something like that.
That sounds sweet. We're building something like that for our next verses. That sounds great.
Outside of that, we're going to have some weak mana bases if you're not playing enemy pairs.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going back to some 2 colors or even monocolored good stuff, huh?
Yeah, but we're losing all our good monocolor payoffs. I guess we're going to Theros, so we'll get some good monocolor payoffs there, presumably, with some more devotion cards. But,
that's fair.
In this fall, that's going to be interesting if we're not getting any rare lands in Throne.
Yep. Well, let's do one more question while we get our hands going here.
Alex MW wanted to know, what do you think, Corey, of Emery, Lurker of the Lock in Urza in Modern?
Which one's that again?
It is 2 and a blue for a legendary Merfolk Wizard. It's a 1/2. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each artifact you control, and when it enters the battlefield, put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard, and then tap, choose target artifact card in your graveyard. You may cast that card this turn.
Okay. Well, first of all, I think it's interesting and it'll help. I could definitely see it helping a little bit, but I just think Goblin Engineer is much better because if you ever flip, just like 4 lands or just Urza or something, it's not great. And sometimes you actually want to sacrifice an artifact in play, like sacrifice a Chromatic Star, sacrifice a Wellspring, to actually gain some card advantage and bring something back. So I think Goblin Engineer is just a strict upgrade than that, but it definitely may have a home. But the one card for Urza is the Wishbone. I forget what it's called, but the 1 black, 1 colorless gets 3 wish counters on it. You can either search up a Teferi in your deck and then bounce the Wishbone back to your hand.
Wishclaw Talisman.
Wishclaw, yeah. Or you can just activate it, hold priority, sacrifice it to Goblin Engineer, bring something back, and wish for something. Now that's a card I think could come to Urza. Might be a stretch, but
you got to jump through a lot of hoops.
Yeah. But in Standard, I mean, I know this wasn't on the original question here, but in Standard, that sorry, one more time, what was that card?
Wishclaw Talisman.
Wishclaw Talisman has 2 great cards with it, Teferi and Karn. You search up a Karn, you give it to them, you play Karn, they can't use it.
Yeah, that's
Spice,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
So I think we'll see those interactions more than we'd probably see the blue creature with Urza.
Maybe. Well then, I don't think I can keep this hand since I have no colored mana, even though I have the 2 wastelands, so we'll send that one back.
So we're going to look at our hand here because it's quite interesting. With Ross on a mulligan, I'm inclined to keep this, even though it's not necessarily great. I mean, Urborg, Hand Disruption Spell, Dark Depth, Hexmage is just okay, so I guess we have to keep it based. No, I'm just kidding. It's not quite that good, but I think it is a keeper here. Just because of the mulligan, I think I would mulligan this on the play. Yeah, we're gonna try it. This could be a bit of a loose goose, but
my 7-card hand would have been pretty good against Urborg. Discard spell. I just had wastelands.
Dang it!
I would have been able to cast my Thoughtseize too.
Too bad.
Okay, first mulligan. Shouldn't be too bad. Ren and 6 would be nice to just pull us right out of that.
Yeah, that's always a great card.
And this is a reasonable hand. Which one do I want to put back?
I can pick.
Am I fine with only having 2 lands in this hand? I think I want to make a lot of land drops because I definitely want to get to the Jace portion of the game pretty quickly.
That's my least favorite portion of the game from this side.
I think we'll just keep all of the card selection and put that one down.
I'm still having flashbacks of our Jace session from the last time. When you activated Jace like 8 times from your Bant deck.
Okay. I'll start on an Astrolabe. That was a good draw.
Yeah. All right. So if we take a peek at what we have here, I mean, there's pretty much one play I want to be doing, and now it's just which land I would like to play first. And I think it's actually Ross's mana base is going to be perfect no matter what, thanks to Astrolabe, so I don't have to be worried about making it better. So we're going to start by just a duress, kind of taking a Wrenn and 6 if it's available. It's not.
Nope.
Well, I think Brainstorm is just in general the better card here, so we're going to take that. And then we are going to just pass it to you.
Okay, let's start on a ponder.
Okay.
So I am a pretty big fan of these cards. I wonder. I think I want all of them actually, which is kind of awkward. But I guess not really. So let's stack them like that.
Okay.
We'll draw here. We will play this with Wasteland since we're not planning on shuffling anyway, and that'll stop, Hexmage Depths shenanigans.
Yep.
And pass the turn.
All right. That was a pretty solid draw. I can't see why I wouldn't want to play that. There's definitely ways that this could go bad, but I think we're okay with that. So we're going to start with... This is tough. So I don't want to open any of my good lands up to Wasteland here, so I don't really want to play these. So now I could try to get this in play if we take a peek at my hand. This also isn't doing much, but I think we'll just go like this for now. And tap it for black. And try to play Dark Confidant.
Sure.
Your turn.
I'll tap my Wasteland for black and Fatal Push the Dark Confidant.
Okay. Didn't work out great, but oh well.
Let's play a Scalding Tarn and pass the turn.
Okay. Untap. All right. That was interesting. That was interesting. Not great yet, but definitely interesting. All right, so we're going to start with a waste. Now we're going to do a Wasteland. Give you some free information there. Then we are going to cast a hymn, target you.
That's pretty good.
Not bad, not bad.
Okay.
All right.
So let's just roll 1 die for the one I get to keep.
Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So whatever one I roll is the one you keep.
Yep.
4. Couple lands gone. And that was one of the cards I knew about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm kind of inclined to... Now Wastelanding here would be quite bad. We're going to go with a Peatland. And... Or I played a Wasteland. Yep. I meant to play this. Oh, that's tough. Do I really want to do that? I think so. Then we're going to play Hexmage. Might be a little aggressive here, but with you having such little cards, I think it's worth maybe just attacking a little bit here.
Okay, on your end step,
Yep.
I'll tap this for black, make red off of there. I'll deal 2 to this and make you discard your last card.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right. Maybe that wasn't my best play I've ever made.
Certainly played into the card I had.
Yeah.
Pass the turn.
Your turn.
Underground Sea, Jace.
What? No.
I had set up to like hold this up on the turn. My ponder was push,
Yeah.
call against command Jace.
Sure.
So I just set up to hold up the push for one thing, then I held up the K command, and then I do the line for the Jace.
Touche. Well played.
So what are we worried? We're not worried about the combo, and the only instant speed you can fetch a Dryad Arbor and start pressuring the Jace, but I still think I should just brainstorm.
That's fair.
Guess we will keep this one and pass the turn.
All right, so we're gonna wasteland your wasteland while I can.
You should wait till you draw, right?
Oh, I suppose, yeah.
There's no reason to.
Of course. Okay,
Yeah.
I am going to sack and get Dryad Arbiter, though, because it is still a swamp. And like you said, to try to pressure Jace to maybe have you use the +2 ability at some point.
Yeah.
Not great by any means. Okay, that's interesting. So yeah, we're going to attack. I still think I got a wasteland here while I can. And then we'll ship it to you.
If I just draw another Colgan's command, I can put you down to 1 land.
That'd be great. That'd be
Yeah.
so great.
Would you like that?
I would love it. Thank you for that.
Okay. I will brainstorm again.
Okay. Yeah, this did not work out well. Even if I had Hex Mage in hand, though, this still is not going to be great, as I do not have any... Well, I guess, yeah, it would have been a little different.
You have 2 cards in hand?
2 cards.
So we definitely want to put this land back. That one's bad. We have our shuffle effect here. Maybe I just don't need a 4th land at this point, because I have everything.
Great.
Yeah, I might as well just keep the spells. Let's tap this for black and Thought Seize You.
In response, this is just gonna go so badly for me, I have a feeling. But I don't think I win by just holding back here. All right, we're gonna attempt to crop rotate.
The Dryad Arbor.
Yeah.
That resolves.
Okay, we're gonna get Dark Depths, and then you got it.
Got the Mox Diamond. So I'm at 18 from the Thought Seize.
Okay.
Very.
Very relevant.
And I'm going to make black with the underground. Oh, yeah, you still have Urborg. Make black with the Scalding Tarn, filter one of the blacks into a green. I'm going to Abrupt Decay the Mox Diamond and just cut you off a green mana.
Okay, smart.
And now pass the turn.
All right, so I guess my best draw is Hex Mage here.
That would be a good one.
That was a good one. All right, it was a Hex Mage, but I'm not going to play it yet. I'm going to make them think I don't have it.
So now I know the top card of my deck is another Scalding Tarn. I could probably just use the other fetch land, so I might as well just draw it for turn, and then we can crack this one.
Okay.
So I got a 17.
Ross, I think you're going to get your game win.
I think we're going to finally get one. I feel pretty good about this one. Let's get a Volcanic Island.
Okay.
No.
You can get anything. It doesn't matter with Astrolabe,
What?
right?
Yeah, just like, I don't know, in case I figured
Yeah.
I'd do things correctly. But because I have 2 Scalding Tarns, it's better to get in order to get green mana, I need to get Trop. So it's better to get Badlands to go along with the Trop.
Okay.
So let's just start with the Badlands.
You know they call that the South Dakota, right?
Draw for turn. Brainstorm.
Sure. I'll let you have your fun for one more turn. Yeah, like I was saying, my least favorite part of the game is the Jace part of the game from here.
Fetch again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this deck does not close out games particularly quickly.
Don't worry, you're closing out the game next turn once I draw my card and it's not Hex Mage.
Yeah,
which I highly doubt it doesn't matter, but
it is not relevant.
You don't know what this is though. This could be anything.
It could even be a boat.
It could even be a boat.
So I'm at 16.
Could even be a 2020.
Ross, did you draw an extra card there by accident?
Off of what?
I don't know. People are saying that you drew Scalding Tarn for turn.
I drew Scalding Tarn for turn.
Yeah,
I brainstormed off of Jace.
He had a Scalding Tarn in play. Maybe that's what they were saying.
Yeah. I had one in play that I tapped on end step. I drew Scalding Tarn for turn.
Well, this is my out to win the game, a game loss here.
Yeah.
So
I put 2 cards back, but maybe did I start with just this in my hand?
I'm not sure.
No. Let's say I drew an extra card. We'll put that one back. I don't think it matters.
You really wanted to win this game, I see.
I'm trying to play quickly to end the game.
Yeah.
Let's ponder.
Sure. I think your quickest play to end the game would just be say go. Let me draw another Dark Depths and we can move on.
You're up. This is my hand.
Ooh. That doesn't do anything, I guess, huh? You just crop rotate for a wasteland, right? You have another wasteland in play or in your deck?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Or Crocus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You got
and
it.
if you draw a discard spell, I can snap it. So.
Yeah. I don't know though. We'll have to rule that was drawing extra cards, game loss.
That's not even how drawing extra cards is ruled these days.
All right.
Actually, you would have been able to take the crop rotation out of my hand. But
That's true. But then you could have just snapcastered it back, and
no, you put it on the bottom, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because it's not like I don't get a free card in my graveyard by drawing extra cards.
Pretty
That
irrelevant.
would be unusable. Yeah.
Well, we got 2 minutes here. Let's get one question in, and then we'll get our third and final round set up here.
All right, Chat Max want to know, what do you two think about Once Upon a Time?
Ooh.
Free spell.
You want to start?
I think that card is being overrated because I think the normal 2 mana cast mode is not a particularly good Magic card. We've seen a lot of different variants of 2 mana cantrips that are pretty powerful on the text box, but the difference between 1 and 2 mana for that kind of effect that doesn't have any impact on the battlefield is pretty huge. Obviously it can make Trons and Neoforms opening hands better in Modern. I think the Neoform deck is so high variance to begin with that it's probably interested in the card, whereas Tron is generally just interested in consistently getting Tron on turn 3. That's a card that might be able to let you keep more opening 7s because it's pretty good at it's just good as one of your opening 7, and there's no doubt about that. But is that the kind of card you want to be drawing later in the game?
Yeah.
In metagames where Relic of Progenitus isn't relevant, which is where we are now, yeah, maybe you have room for some number of that card. But in metagames where Relic is relevant, I'd rather just be playing my stars, my spheres, my relics. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see that card being, that big of an issue outside of decks like Neoform. And yeah, if the Neoform deck gets to be a problem, ban a card from it because it's complete and utter nonsense that should never exist.
Yeah. I'll be on the flip side. I think this card's busted. I think this card is insane. I think it's going to be busted in Tron. Ancient Stirrings is already so good. And, we have those cards in Tron right now that are kind of iffy, like Relic, that I think can be replaced just because, and it's just going to make that deck even more consistent. 2 mana compared to 1 with Tron when you're in the late game is basically nothing. If you still have stars and you still have spheres, 2 mana when you have 9 to get, a Worm Coil or something is still fine. I agree with you in Neoform, but I also think it's going to be pretty good in Standard if you can build the deck in a way where you're gonna always maximize hits. It does make you build your deck in such a way where you can't have a ton of removal, and then it gets awkward in sideboarded games when you bring in a bunch of removal against another hyper aggressive deck or something like that. So I can see it being kind of awkward in that stage, but I think for Modern it's going to be a huge player, and in the right kind of green aggressive decks, I think it's going to be great. Especially with the Beast, the 4 mana 4/4/1. Any deck that plays that, I highly anticipate that's going to make it. Maybe Risen Reef decks, like a green-blue Risen Reef deck, it would be pretty good because you could search out the specific elementals you want. Another way to look to find Risen Reefs early. I think it's going to be good. I do think it is a little overrated, but I think it's going to be busted in Modern. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we will set up for match 3 here. Take another 5-minute break. We're gonna have some Rakdos Reanimator, some Azorius Stoneblade.
Oh yeah.
And maybe I can, I've got the game win. I'm warmed up. Now,
Yeah.
now we can get a match win.
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's do it.
A boy can dream.